Hey guys, I just want to thank you for being here because it is my absolute honor and pleasure to share my experiences and the knowledge that has come from those experiences with you guys and with the general public and with holistic practitioners. That is my entire mission and purpose on the planet. And whether you're tuning in live or watching the recording, I just want you to know how much I appreciate the time that you're taking out of your busy day and your busy schedule to utilize this information as a resource for your own transformational results. And so let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Ravi Aviana. My business name is The Lymph Doctor. And so I have over 22 sets of letters behind my name because I call us certification chasers. A lot of holistic professionals just don't feel like they have enough pieces, so they just keep going to school. For me, it was less about a professional goal, and I just desperately needed my own transformation. And so personally, I've experienced pretty much any kind of trauma that you can imagine: physical, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual, sexual. I've experienced all kinds of abuse and trauma. And was also, I grew up in a community that holistic conversations were not normal. Everyone was one religion, there was like one way of doing things, and I felt like I was the only person who was struggling or having any kind of mental and emotional stress or any kind of problems going on an internal level. I definitely felt like an alien. And so as I got older and I moved out of state and I became exposed to new resources and new conversations and new communities that were talking about these kinds of things and what to do from it so that you could have a better experience that's more in line with what you really want. I just threw myself as deep as I could go into anything I could get my hands on. And it turned out to me having a PhD in metaphysical and humanistic science, which I explain that as the science, the study of consciousness, evolution, and human behavior. In addition to that, I've spent the last 14 years as a massage therapist and a body worker. That's what I've done full time for the last 14 years. That's where I've gotten my income, right? Is from being a massage therapist and a body worker. So very, very hands-on stuff. For 14 years, I've helped people tune into their bodies, heal what's going on. And then as I went on my own journey, I learned that the more we do that, the greater our capacity for success in all other areas of our lives, right? And so I've personally healed from all kinds of addictions: food, sex, drugs, alcohol. Like I was trying to escape my reality and all of the thoughts and feelings that I was having inside. I've personally lost over 120 pounds. Not really recently, but that was like 8 years ago. But all of the struggles that a lot of people deal with, I smoked cigarettes for 4 years and I was able to quit cold turkey when I realized it was around my mindset. And so I can relate to trauma and coping mechanisms on a very, very deep level, right? And my biggest goal is to help people, because I had to do it the long, hard way. I spent a ton of money, like 6 figures, hiring coaches and going to school and chasing all of these things, and only got a little bit of support each time. And so my goal is really to shorten that process and give people the coach and the friend and the support and the community that I didn't have when I was going through that myself. And so the title of this episode is really understanding why the chakras and the lymphatic system together really rule your capacity for success in any area of your life. And so how that works is, if you're familiar with Dr. Emoto at all, you might not know his name, you probably know his work. And so he did photography of frozen water crystals. He took water and exposed it to different frequencies. So one glass of water would be in a room with like classical music, with him saying or writing down the words and taping it to the container of the water, like, I love you, gratitude, you are beautiful, you are worthy, all of these positive statements. And then in the other room with the other water, did the opposite. So played like heavy metal and rap music, wrote and spoke the words, I hate you, I want to kill you, negativity, just like all of this yucky stuff. And then froze the waters and took pictures of the water crystals. And what that showed is that each word and type of music has its own frequency, which has its own shape. And the water crystals were literally forming to the shape of the frequency that they were exposed to. And so you have to think of my work. I'm naturally thinking, okay, of course that applies to our bodies. Our bodies are 86% plus water. We can think of all of that water as lymphatic fluid. It's inside of our bones. It's around every single organ. It's inside of our brain. It's inside of our digestive system. It causes fat. It causes cellulite. It causes all signs of aging. It disrupts your hormones, like your sleep cycles. Like, your lymphatic system is the one thing in your body that truly connects to every other aspect of your body. Plus, it's the largest percentage of our body. Like I said, 86% plus of a healthy, normal functioning body is this water or lymphatic fluid. And so if you think about our water body and you think about that it's scientifically proven that our thoughts and our emotions generate a measurable Hertz frequency, which Dr. Emoto showed actually has its own shape. And so if we're having anxiety or depression or all of these chaotic thoughts that we don't want to think and feel, 86% plus of our body is literally physically holding that shape. So your body is physically holding you back. So I told you, I dove in personally on my own journey to like everything. I'm a Reiki master. I've done hypnotherapy. I'm certified in nutrition. I've love yoga, like all of the things you can possibly think of. I pretty much do it on a professional level because I was so like, I just desperately needed my own healing. And so all of those things, they're wonderful modalities and they all helped. They all got me some level of relief, but it didn't last because 86% plus of my body, and if you're overweight or inflamed or struggling with health concerns, it's higher than 86% because more of your body is having this water experience. And so 86% plus of your body is literally holding you back, keeping you out of the transformation that so often we're like desperately chasing. We like meditate every day, we go to yoga, we eat clean, we work out, we journal, we do like get 8 hours of sleep, we have healthy relationships, and somehow we still feel capped in our ability to achieve abundance or the next level of fulfillment. Like, that's what it really means is how do we feel inside? Do we feel fully connected to ourselves and source or God, or however you identify this higher being that has this divine plan? And if you question that, you just have to look at the human body, right? Because we naturally, like, we breathe, our heart beats, our digestive system breaks things down in a really specific way. And we don't have to consciously think about that. So whatever greater force orchestrated this machine that functions in such synchronicity and such perfection, however you identify that source, you can always tap into it. And that, it's like a dimmer switch. So your ability to tap into source and the divine energy that we all come from is it's like a dimmer switch. It's either turned down or it's really turned up and maximized. And it just depends on what's going on with your lymphatic fluid. So let's take that the next step deeper and talk about the chakras. our chakra system, most people are familiar with the 7 main chakras, so I won't really get into that, but there are main energy centers throughout the body which resonate at a color because frequency resonates with shape, right? So color is another example of specific frequencies look a certain way. And so we're really going to talk about the sacral chakra today, which is it's about 3 finger widths below your belly button, and it resonates at the color orange. And it really governs creativity, sexuality, relationships, boundaries, and finances. And so if you have an area like struggle or an unsuppressed, like a suppressed trauma, an unresolved story or belief system that's created a kink in one of those areas, in other words, if you're not living your best, fullest life in all 5 of those categories, you most likely have a block or stagnant toxic energy in the sacral chakra. It's literally scientifically proven that water is the best messenger for energy, right? Like, don't drop the toaster in the bathtub because you're going to get electrocuted. Like, water transmutes or communicates energy extremely quickly, extremely effectively. And so if you think about your body, 86% plus water, if that water is all toxic and dirty and stagnant, just like a nasty puddle in the middle of the road, right? You don't really want to drink that. So if that's what's flowing in your body and you're having all of these thoughts, like we'll talk about positive thoughts and negative thoughts. So if you're having anxiety and depression and all of these things you don't want to experience, those low frequency vibrations are now traveling through dirty water. And that's like the game telephone when you're in elementary school. And like it's if you're not familiar, all the kids, like 30 kids sit in a circle and one person gets a message whispered in their ear, and it might be like the sky is blue. And then each student whispers it to the next student. And by the time it gets to the end and they say it out loud, the message is like the monster is purple and has 10 eyes. Like the message has completely changed. And so what that does in our body when these low frequency thoughts are moving through dirty water, first of all, the message gets messed up. It gets misinterpreted. And so this is where a lot of invisible pain comes from with autoimmune disease and things like that, is because these energetic impulses from our brains, our thoughts and our emotions are traveling through this water, and it's like traveling through a minefield. It's just like boom, 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 getting broken up and misinterpreted every time it hits something that's toxic or dirty. And every time you get a lymphatic drainage therapy treatment or you do the self-care practices that support your lymph, you're cleaning that out. And so now the water, the message is able to travel through the body, through the waters, without having to go through a minefield and get all misinterpreted on the way. And so I know I'm speaking about a lot of things in kind of a rapid way. And I haven't been able to really look at the comments. I see you guys leaving comments. And after I'm done talking, I'll come back and address everything that you say. And so if you have any questions, if this isn't making sense, please just like leave your question in the comments because I'll address it afterwards. And so I really hope this is making sense though, that like essentially our bodies are energy and the world around us is energy. And if we want to manifest the life of our wildest dreams, we have to tap into that energy in a way where the message is not going to be misinterpreted. And like, because that just sends up all the red flags in the body. Like I was saying, that's what causes neuropathy. That's what causes, like I said, autoimmune symptoms and all of these diseases that doctors a lot of time are like, sorry, I have no idea like what to tell you. This is just your life now. Like those are my favorite clients to work with because we reverse those symptoms in as little as 2 sessions. Like I've seen amazing, amazing things with my clients on all scales. Some of my favorite clients to work with are women who are struggling with reproductive issues, intense menopause, intense menstrual cycles. I won't get into all of my success stories on here, but I'll take a minute to share a couple with you. is I've had a 6-year-old who was suffering from extreme ADD and ADHD. And after 1 hour of time together, which was broken into 2 sessions, so two 30-minute sessions later, he has no ADD. His mom says he's sleeping through the night. His personality is completely improved, like completely changed in the most positive way absolutely possible. And then, like, he had always been stuffy. Like, this was in Texas. There were like tons of seasonal allergies and cedar and all of that stuff. So he was, for 4 years of his life, he was so stuffy that his mom didn't sleep because she was afraid he was going to stop breathing when he was sleeping. And so she was like checking on him like every 20 minutes. And like, so she's kind of wound up in this anxious state because her entire needs are being thrown off because of the fear that her child's going to stop breathing in the middle of the night. And in 1 hour, that was completely done. That mom and the child's father were separated. And after our second session, the child went to his dad's house, who had no idea what we were doing. And he called the mom and said, I have no idea what you're doing for the child, but you need to keep doing it because holy shit, like we didn't even know this was possible in our lives. Like, again, I love working with people who think their lives, because of what's going on with their health or their mindset or just the results that they're getting in their lives, they think that this is it for them. I've had clients who suffered with multiple autoimmune diseases for over 40 years and were just like, God, I can't live this way anymore. Like, please help me. And after just 2 sessions of working together, their entire mindset was like, so excited about their life. Like, they were motivated, like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that how I feel right now is possible. And it's only been 2 days. So then they changed their whole basically way of being because they were motivated for change. When we don't think change is possible, like, we just get stuck in this downward spiral that really just limits our happiness, our fulfillment, our joy, our ability to have fun in our lives, which all of that impacts our mindset, our belief systems, our physical health. It's like, it's all connected. And my goal is to really bridge the conversation, like bridge the gaps between these conversations, because I know a lot of people believe in whole being wellness, but when you're really looking at the whole being, it can feel overwhelming because there's so many pieces. And that's what I love about lymphatic drainage therapy, is because it's one modality, it's one thing that you have to focus on that will improve everything else in your life. Because the chakras and the lymphatic system are in this symbiotic relationship. So the chakra health, like we were talking about before, if there's a kink in your energy system, it's going to affect the lymphatic system. And if your lymphatic system is dirty and toxic like a minefield, it's not going to matter how positive your thoughts are. Like I was sharing with you, I tried meditation, I was doing affirmations literally all day, every day, all of the law of attraction stuff, like trying to fake it till I make it and just like visualize the life that I really want. But my body was not even letting me feel what that would truly be like. And so without even knowing it, I was working a million times harder than I need to, getting zero results that I should be getting. And in turn, that just leads to that downward spiral of wanting to numb yourself and escape from your reality and your feelings. And for some people, that looks like addiction. For some people, that looks like being a workaholic. For some people, that looks like looking so forward to that 1 week of vacation that they get in a year that they are just completely hating their lives the rest of the time. It's like, I know so many people in the corporate world who feel that way, and that's their mindset. And all of these things are amplified or minimized by the health of your chakras and your lymphatic system. And so when we're talking about energy, that conversation can start to get overwhelming because it feels like, oh, my root chakra, oh, my crown chakra, like everything's out of balance. Where do I even start? Ooh, just start with the lymphatic system, because it's going to soothe so much of the energetic chaos that's going on. And then it's way easier to identify the things that you do need to do. You know, I'm not saying that lymph is the end all be all solution. Like, everything has a role, everything has a part to play, and an appropriate time and an appropriate way to be utilized for transformation. But the quickest, fastest way to get the most results out of anything else that you're doing while giving yourself a running start is by understanding and valuing the importance of lymphatic health and function. And so I feel like I've said a lot. I'm going to spend, I think I have like 5 more minutes on this call. I'm going to go all the way up to the beginning of the comments and see if I can answer any of the questions that you've had. Oh, I'm just seeing so many positive things. I'm so glad you guys are loving this. And Joy, I do work remotely, and I actually didn't see any questions. Do you guys have any questions? Because I have a couple of minutes before we have to hop off. Oh, thank you, Joy. I am so glad that you are resonating with it, that you're finding it empowering. That is my entire goal. And so it doesn't look like anybody has any questions. And while I did want to share so much information, I feel like I did it in a really quick time. Okay, so Joy is wondering how we work with our lymph. So there are a few main steps you can take to harmonizing your lymphatic system on your own. So everyone has probably heard of the advice dry brushing. It's overstated and underappreciated and underutilized. You want to use your dry brush for 5 to 10 minutes at least every single day. Do it before you get in the shower because it is exfoliating. And so you will be able to wash off like the dead skin or anything that comes off while you're doing an exfoliation. But you don't want to use the dry brush in the shower because it's called a dry brush for a reason. When the bristles are wet, it glides on the skin, and when it's dry, it creates this brisk, like scooping effect, and that's what gets your fluid moving. So you want to use a dry brush every day before you get in the shower, and you want to make sure you're doing it like while it's dry. You want to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. And so half of your ideal body weight in ounces is what you should be drinking in water per day. If you can get alkaline water, that's even better. So a 7.5 pH or higher, because acidity in the body breeds an acidic environment, and that causes your lymphatic system to get all out of balance and out of whack and really angry. And so by alkalizing your system, and you can do that, like I said, making sure you're drinking plenty of water, that alkaline water, and eating alkaline food and alkaline diet. Your diet plays a huge part into what's going on with your lymphatic system, but your lymphatic system also plays a huge part into what's going on with your diet and how your body is digesting and processing foods. You know, do you have high blood pressure? Do you have gut allergies? Do you have candida or, you know, parasites or like bacteria overgrowth going on in the gut? Anything like that can be super calmed down and soothed by harmonizing your lymphatic system. And so it's a kind of a twofold process. You want to do things on the outside that are supportive while doing things on the inside that are supportive. And so the other things are really paying attention to the chemicals, right? As women, especially, we slather ourselves in cancer like on a daily basis. Our soaps, our shampoos, our cleaning products, if you use like Febreze and aerosol like things that aren't natural, um, plastic water bottles, anything that's like a Teflon pan, like all of these things literally just, oh, there's like, they all have chemicals that cause cancer and create acidity and disease in the body and upset the lymphatic system. And just by swapping those things out for healthier versions, like you can change so much of how your body is responding to all of these environmental factors. And so compression clothes are another great one. And you want to make sure you're getting a tank top, like a full shirt, because all of the lymph flows towards right here, like in between the breasts, like the sternum area. And if that's clogged, nothing from your head can drain down and nothing from your body can drain up. And so this needs to be flowing. And if you look at the lymphatic anatomy of the breast, it looks like a grapefruit, like when you cut a grapefruit in half and there's all these pockets, and the whole breast is essentially just lymph nodes. And so you really want to make sure that you're wearing the right bras, not wearing a ton of underwire and things that are really, if it's leaving a major dent in your skin, no matter what article of clothing it is, it's not good for your lymphatic system. You want to find the compression clothes that are comfortable, make sure you're getting the right size, and make sure they're seamless or as seamless as possible. It really makes a big difference. And then full body sweats, right? So your sauna, your steam room, anything like that. This is actually like a sauna jacket, and I wear this when I'm working out so that I get more sweat. So sweating, anything, especially when you're sweating from unusual places like your shins and your forearms, that's a sign that you're having a really, really, really great detox. And then you want to make sure that you're rehydrating after that. Our body is water, and you want to squeeze out what's dirty and stagnant and bring in what's clean and alkaline and harmonizing and wonderful for your body. And I promise that you will get physical, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual, sexual, hormonal, reproductive, and financial benefits if you start focusing on your lymphatic system. And so again, I'm happy to answer any questions if you leave them in the comments, and it is time for me to hop off. But I just want to thank you for being here again, and thank you for so much positive feedback. This was so much fun, and I love seeing how well received and excited that you guys are about this information. So thank you, and I love you guys.